This one is about sidechaining, and there is enough information about sidechaining to fill an entire course. I'm just going to discuss a couple important workflow hacks for sidechaining. Let's say I've got a kick drum here. It's a very long kick drum. It's debatable whether that's a good choice, but you know, it's a creative choice. So if you want to use a long kick drum, by all means go ahead. And I've got a pad right here. Now, of course, I want to sidechain the pad to the kick drum, or is it the other way around? I'm not entirely sure. I should look that up. But here's the thing. If I want to use a compressor on the pad to duck the sound of the pad every time the kick plays, of course, I'm going to run into a little problem. Let's select the kick, which is this track here. I use that to duck the pad. Now, this doesn't have to be a problem if this is the sound you're after, but sometimes you only want a short pulse as the trigger for your sidechain instead of this long kick that I have now. So what can I do? Well, I could find a different sound like a rim shot or a short clap and use that instead of the kick. But then I'd need to copy the arrangement of the kick. So it's going to take a little time before that actually works out. So what you can do instead is go into the compressor and find this little module here, the EQ module. And what that allows you to do is actually EQ the sound that comes into the sidechain. So you're not actually EQing the sound itself on the track, because that wouldn't make sense at all, but you can shape the sound of the sidechain coming in this case, the kick drum. Let me turn off the kick track here and only listen to the kick drum coming into the sidechain. Use the headphone icon here. If I turn this off, I'm back at the pad sound. And this is, of course, what's coming into the compressor. If I turn on the EQ, there's a low cut or high pass and a frequency dial. So with this, I can actually shape the sound coming into the compressor. I want to make it really thin. Now turn off the headphones. See, this is what the original kick is doing, and this is with the EQ. I can shape this further. And this is much easier to create a certain character for the sidechain ducking. Now the sound coming into the compressor is now this, instead of this. Make sense? So I can keep my long kick and still use it as a ducking trigger for the pads.